Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. These here happen to be the most used heavy cut compounds at our shop, and we're going to put them head to head today. You've probably seen them either in their own showcase here on the channel or maybe in one of our vlogs. They are very effective. They are used in different situations, but today we're going to compare them and put them head to head on the same panel. This panel happens to have medium, maybe leaning a little bit towards hard clear coat. So let me tape and mask 4 sections off. We're going to break out some different grit sandpaper starting at 800, then moving to 1000, and then 2000 and 3000 grit, and we'll move the masking tape off of the panel, run 4 paths through the sand marks, and see which cutting compound does the best in each section. We can compare how they cut, how they finish down, their cycle time, their work time, open time, also dusting if they dust, and just how easy they are to wipe back off the panel. By the way, we will have some fun and do the same thing for one-step polishes, finish polishes, medium cut compounds. But for today, we'll concentrate on the 3D ACA 500, Sonax Ultimate Cut Plus, Jescar Heavy Cut Compound, and Xtreme Solutions LVR 321 Knockout Heavy Cut Compound. So we're just about ready to go. We will label each area, the grit sand marks in each area, and also we'll label each path we run through the sand marks and what compound it came from. The polisher, the pad, they're going to be exactly the same, as well as the pressure and the speed that we run through with them.
Please tell me your name. What's your name?
We're going to start with 3D ACA, the Alpha Ceramic Alumina abrasive. This happens to be one of the favorites at the shop. We grab this the most. We go through a lot of it, along with the AAT and 3D1. Their abrasives just really are all around excellent. Great with containing dust from residue. It has an incredible cycle time. Excellent on soft, medium, or hard clear. On harder clear, you have to make a few more passes, but for the most part, we really enjoy this this compound here at the shop. And it's not just myself, it's the other employees as well. I see them grabbing it all the time. So we're going to use this 3-inch polisher. It does have a larger throw, so it does have quite a bit of power and should be able to cut through all of these sand marks. The pad is a cutting pad, and we're going to run the polisher between the 3rd and the 4th speed setting. Pressure on the polisher will be what my thumb can apply. I always run the polisher that way and then guide it with the rest of my hand. That way we know we're not applying too much pressure and spiking temperatures for the clear coat. The speed of the polisher when it comes to movement is going to be 1 inch every second or 2, which is correction speed. That is moving the polisher enough to not spike temperatures, but slow enough to also give the pad and the polisher and the compound time to do some work. And here you can see, indeed, we keep the speed right between the 3rd and 4th speed setting. With this polish here, there's going to be no dust to contend with, and that's why it's a favorite. Even though it's not the most aggressive cutting compound out there, there are some that really can get to it, especially on harder clears. But the wipe off is easy, and there's no residue or dust to deal with. Can't stand dust, and really with the technology today and the chemicals we have available, there should be no excuse whatsoever and no dusting in the compounds, and there should be long cycle time or open time. If not, we just don't use it here. There's so many options out there, and really stick to what you enjoy and what is effective in your environment. But here in our environment, a polish like this is going to be something we grab first. It may take a few passes, but we will eventually get the job done. So I'm using the work light here to show you each section, but I will get out the swirl finder and really get into the work that is done in each section. Again, keep in mind, this one isn't the most aggressive out there, but all around, when it comes to cutting and then finishing down, cycle time, ease of use when wiping off residue, and no dusting, that combination is puts a check mark in all the boxes here. Okay, let's move right along. And by the way, I don't care what you use and what you purchase. It may not even be any of these four. It's just what we like here. And I often wanted to put them on the same panel head to head, so I thought I would share the experience with you. We don't have ties or links for any of these. You could probably find them on Autotopia, AutoGeek, and maybe even Amazon. That's completely up to you. When we move on to the Sonax compound, their Ultimate Cut Plus. Now, that one there has some really nice aggression to it, but the cycle time is going to be a little bit shorter, and you're going to get a little bit of dusting out of it. If you're working outside, if you are a mobile detailer, you'll find the cycle time is quite a bit shorter, especially in direct sunlight. Not very friendly in direct sunlight, but I can tell you in the first pass or two, it does a heck of a lot of work removing some real deep imperfections on soft, medium, and even hard clear coat. Something else to add on soft clear coat, extremely soft clear coat, sometimes the compound is a bit hard to wipe off because of the absorbency of that soft clear coat. Quick tip, just add a quick spritz of a quick detailer onto the pad as you're adding the compound, and it will not only extend the cycle time, it'll cut down on dusting and make that wipe off a little bit easier. Just a little trace of some dusting here and there. It's not bad. There are much worse out there. And if you have followed this channel for any length of time, you'll know I despise compounds that dust. There's really no excuse for it. It just makes extra work for me after I'm done with the correction and with the options available. You know, anything that dusts is not going to be used here. All right, let's take a look at the work that Sonax has done going through all of these areas of sand marks. Again, starting at 800, then 1,000, then 2,000, 3,000. And as we grab the swirl finder, you can see it will do a great job in just about all of these sections except for the 800 grit. The problem is it's more aggressive, but has a little problem finishing down. All right, we've taken a look at 3D ACA 500, Sonax Ultimate Cut Plus. Now let's take a look at Jescar Heavy Cut Compound. This is a little similar to the one we just looked at, the Sonax Ultimate Cut. The difference, a little bit longer cycle time, about the same dust, a little bit easier to wipe off. It does have some nice aggression to it. This compound may be a little bit less known than the other two, but it does a fine job. And that will do it. Give me a second to put the polisher down, then I'll grab you guys, bring you in closer for a better look. And you'll see about the same dusting as the Sonax Ultimate Cut. However, the cycle time is a little bit longer and it's a little bit easier to work with conditions outside if you don't have a sheltered environment. And in direct sunlight and softer clears, it's a little bit easier to wipe off. Let's grab that swirl finder and take a closer look. And it did a fine job in just about all of the sections. Pretty much everything I would ask for of a cutting compound. Started to have a little bit of a hard time in the 1000 grit and then struggled in the 800 grit section. By the way, you will need to follow up with another step and finish these down. And some of these, especially the 3D ACA 500, formulated targeting the wool pad and a rotary, believe me, they will do very well on both dual action polisher and the rotary polisher with wool pads and foam pads. All right, so let's take a look at LVR 321 Knockout from Xtreme Solutions. So all of these will do well on a rotary or a dual action polisher. There's no need to buy a compound for this polisher and a compound for that polisher. It's just a way to separate you from your money. They work well with both polishers and all types of pads. Okay, working with Xtreme Solutions Knockout, the only knock on the polish or the compound is that sometimes it can be a little inconsistent. Depending on the clear coat I'm working on, it does really well. And then there are 1 or 2 days here and there where I'm really not satisfied with it. But for the most part, it does just about everything well. All right, that'll do it. Let's go in for a closer look. When it comes to dusting, there's not really a lot of dusting whatsoever, and the cycle time is impressive, and that's really the reason I like to work with it. It's not very hard to wipe off, even if you're working outside and you have hot and humid conditions. It lacks a little bit in aggression compared to the last two we looked at, but it will finish down just a little bit better as well. So there's a trade-off. When it comes to elevating one characteristic in one compound, it's going to lack in another. It's a give and take, and that happens with all detailing products. Similar to the other three, you will need to add a step and finish down with a finishing polish and a softer pad. Let me know down in the comment section which compound, heavy cut compound stood out in this test, in this video. And then let me know also what you like to use in your environment. It is all subjective. There is no wrong answers. Whatever you pick, if you enjoy it and it's effective and making you successful in any way, I'm behind you 100%. Stick to it. This will be the order for me here when I put everything together, including price. So I thought I would share that information with you. What you do with it is completely up to you. When it comes to the future videos comparing one steps and medium cut and also finishing polishes and compounds, let me know what you would like to see included in these little tests. I enjoy doing them. I love doing them. It gives me a little bit of information, and I hope it helps you. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. I'll catch you in the next video.